called PS5 Explorer, which can allow you to copy files to the PS5 file system without locally a network connection. So we can download this from pkg-zone.com on your computer. Download for PS5, we also want to, of course, go to the latest version of the YouTube jailbreak Autoloader and download the download file and also the y to jailbreak update.zip for the latest version. Then, of course, we also want to install the YouTube jailbreak update blocker. So we're also gonna download the YouTube jailbreak. Download 0 from this project as well for version 1 to 0.1 or higher, and that is everything that we need to download here. So the next thing we need to do is grab ourselves a USB drive. Right-click on it and go to Properties. And make sure that the file system is FAT or FAT32. And copy the PS5 Explorer application, the package file to the root of that USB drive, and simply plug it into your PS5. So on your PS5, you're gonna want to load the ETA-hen payload on your PS5. So you can do that by, of course, just loading up the YouTube jailbreak. If you already have the older version of the Autoloader, that is set to automatically load that payload. Like I do, then you can just launch the YouTube application. Of course, if you're using the older version, where you have to send the payloads over the network, then just send the payloads over the network with Netcat GUI until you get ETA-hen loaded. Once you have the ETA-hen payload running, we can go into the settings, scroll down to our ETA-hen toolbox, and go to the package installer and install that application that we put on the USB drive. So once it's installed, we're just going to load it from the game section and give it a few seconds to load up and select root access. So the first thing we want to do is install the embedded update blocker, which we can do by scrolling down to System Data folder. Go into that folder first, and then scroll down to the priv folder RIV, and then scroll down to the MMS folder and look for a file called app.info.db. Press the triangle button once you are hovered over it. And then go to send to M into USB 0 or 1, whichever one is highlighted, which is your USB drive, and once that's copied to the USB, we can then unplug that USB drive and plug it back into our computer. Okay, so if we go back onto the USB we can see drive, we have the app info database file there. We're gonna open up the YouTube jailbreak downloader for version 1 to 0.1 or higher, and this version should contain an appinfo_editor.py. We're going to copy that into the same location as our app info database file. We want to right-click in this folder and open in terminal. And we want to type in Python. So you need to have Python installed for this app info_editor.py, and then press enter. And that should apply the embedded updater to the database file. So once that's done, we can close out of the terminal. We'll now have an original file, which is a backup of our original database file. In case this one gets corrupted, you can always replace it with the original file again to fix it. But it should be fine, so we have our updated version here. So now that we're finished with the Python file, we can remove it from the USB drive and copy our download 0 ... file to the root of the USB. And we can also open up the y to jailbreak update.zip. and extract the PS5 Autoloader folder also to the root of the USB drive. Now, and we want to edit this so it can load whatever payload we want. So if we open up this folder, we can delete the FTP payloads that it automatically loads, rid of that, and replace that with whatever payload you want to load. So I'm using a test build of ETA-hen. So I'm gonna copy that ETA-hen.l file into that folder, and then edit the autoload.txt file and copy the name of ETA-hen.l and paste it into that autoload.txt file, overriding the FTP payload that's in there already, and save that file. Okay, so we have quite a lot of files to copy over here. So if we press left on the D-pad, that will go to USB, which should be your USB drive. Either that or it'll be right on the D-pad. And then we're gonna highlight appinfo.db. Press triangle over it and select the option to copy it. Then press R3, so right stick to go back to the root directory. And then go back to system data and go back to priv. MMS, where the original database file is located, and then press triangle and paste our modified one on top, and say yes to overwrite, and that will get that installed. Then, if we do left on the D-pad to go back once again to the USB drive, this time, we're going to take download 0 and press triangle and copy it. And then press R3 again to go back to the root directory. and scroll down to the user folder, which is way down near the bottom. So user folder, and then go to the download folder, and then pp. As A01650, press triangle in this folder. And again, paste in our updated version and say yes to overwrite this. One will take a while to copy because it's quite a large file. Okay. And the final piece of the puzzle is to press left on the D-pad again. Go back to your USB. And this time select the PS5 Autoloader folder. Press triangle, copy it, and again, R3 to go back to the root directory. Go to the data folder and press triangle and paste it into the data folder. And that way, the Autoloader will just load the payload from here in future. So now we can go ahead and exit out of PS5 Explorer. I'll reboot my console so I'm no longer running the jailbreak. Okay, so logged back into my PS5. Now I'm no longer running the jailbreak. So now when I go to reload the YouTube application, we can see it is now running the updated version of the Autoloader. Version 0.2.1 by PLK. So it is now running the latest version, and it will also load my ETA hand payload. That is installed to the data folder on the hard drive. So that is how you get it updated manually. So what I want to do now is show you how to use it. Because now that you have a version that includes the updater installed, any new versions that come out for the Autoloader, you can do so using this updater that is now built in. So if we switch back over to our computer, we have our USB drive. We can delete all of the stuff that's in there now. So whenever there's a new version that comes out of the Autoloader, you can just go to the latest release and download the update.zip file for it, which of course we have downloaded here. And then you can just copy it to the root of your USB drive. It's that simple, it really is that easy. So now all you need to do is plug in that USB and launch the YouTube application, and it will update to the latest version using this. There we go, Autoloader is running. And as you can see, we get an update starting Y to jailbreak update. It detects the update size and it starts extracting all of the files. As we can see, or is extracting the files rather. There we go, so verify update. Okay. I mean, these debug messages do go through quite quickly. It's hard to see them all. But as you can see, that has worked. It's now loading version to point for B of ETA hand. So we have successfully updated the files. That means we no longer need the USB drive plugged in. It actually deletes the update file off the USB once it's done. So now whenever you run the YouTube application again, without the USB drive plugged in, it will be running that updated version that you installed. So that is the general idea. So again, already some pretty big improvements there to the Autoloader with the YouTube jailbreak. So hope you guys enjoyed this or quick found video. The information useful. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe.